You know, every year at SHOT Show, there seems to be one item that gets everybody excited. Something that makes the tactical guys put an extra little splotch on their camo pants, if you know what I mean. And this year, it seems to have been the Maxim 9. Everyone was coming up to me all the time, have you seen the Maxim 9? The Maxim 9 is great. The Maxim 9 is wonderful. It's so amazing. It's the best thing since edible panties. You gotta check out the Maxim 9. Well, I was already familiar with the Maxim 9. I had looked at it before, and I wasn't all that impressed, to be honest. But I thought, well, I guess I better check it out again. Maybe they improved it quite a bit since the last time I saw it. Now, for those of you not familiar with the Maxim 9, it is an internally suppressed handgun. It's a suppressor and a handgun all in one. It looks kind of like a cricket bat with a trigger on it to me, but I guess it's a handgun. It looks to me like it'd be more useful in rowing a boat than it would be in actually using for self-defense or carrying, but a lot of people were really excited about it. So I went down and looked at it again. And to be honest, it hasn't changed at all since I saw it the last time. The only thing I've noticed now is now they've got holsters for it and they're marketing it as a carry gun, something you can actually carry. And I think that's kind of a bad thing because it seems like they have shifted their focus from continuing to develop the gun to marketing the gun. And I don't like that because I think this gun has great potential, but I don't think it's there yet. If you ask me, this is the gun that they should show you a picture of later once the real gun is to market and say, can you believe it actually looked like this when we started out? That's what this gun is. It's a prototype. It isn't ready for market yet. This thing just isn't ready for prime time. And I don't mean like Gilda Radner not ready for prime time or John Belushi not ready for prime time. I mean like Jim Belushi not ready for prime time. I'm talking pretty much an embarrassment in the state it is now. And much in the same way that Jim Belushi would have died a penniless alcoholic in the street, covered in his own piss, if he didn't have that Belushi name, I believe if this gun came from any other company and it didn't say SilencerCo on the side of it, this gun would be tossed on the heap already if they tried to market it the way it is now. Now, don't get me wrong. I really like the Maxim 9, and I think it has great potential. That whole idea of internally suppressed firearms, I think that could be the next big thing. Something like that could make hearing damage a thing of the past for civilians, and especially for law enforcement and soldiers that fire their guns quite a bit. So I think it has great potential. It could be something amazing someday, but it just isn't there yet. It's kind of like if you're my age and you remember VCR TV combos. Those were basically a TV with a VCR built into it. And they were crap. For what you would pay for them, they were kind of expensive. So what you would pay for those, you could have bought a much better TV and a better VCR. But instead, you bought two of them together in one inferior product that cost more. That's kind of how I see the Maxim 9. You're buying two products that you can buy better of if they're separate than you can together. Because one thing about the Maxim 9, the gun itself kind of looks like they just enlarged a Jennings and stuck a silencer on the end of it. It doesn't look like a high quality gun. When you check out the internals, they just aren't that impressive. Now, they've oversized everything on it to try to make it look big and try to mitigate the fact that it looks like a boat oar, like I said before. But, you know, that's what they're doing. They're trying to make the whole thing look more normal size by kind of oversizing everything else in the gun. And it makes the gun seem even cheaper than it would if it was smaller. So I don't like the gun itself. Much like I didn't like TV VCR combos in their day. But that whole idea of TV and VCR combined has evolved through time. And now we have big flat screen TVs that have built-in smart functions. They have built-in internet. They have built-in video streaming. That all evolved from that TV VCR idea of the past. And much like that evolution, I think the Maxim 9 has the potential to develop into one of the most important and groundbreaking technologies in handguns that's come along in a long time. An internally suppressed handgun. Handguns you can carry and not have to worry about blowing out your eardrums if you shoot them. But as the gun is now, I just can't see any reason anyone would want to own one. I mean, other than the fact that it does look like a lawgiver from Judge Dredd. But other than that, I just can't see why anybody would want one. Unless, of course, they think by buying one, they might be funding the further development of the gun. And that makes sense to me. So if you want one because you think it looks cool, or you want one because you want to encourage them to improve on this gun, go ahead and buy one. Just don't buy one if you're wanting a really good gun, because it's just not really good. You could get a better gun and put a silencer on it for less money and less trouble than you could buying the Maxim 9. So other than the cool factor and the potential for what I hope it becomes someday, I really don't see much use in getting this gun right now, at least not in the stage it's in. But if you want one, go ahead and get one, but I'm going to wait and see how good they get in the future. my real dad?